Won't be here all night, just to let you know, but I did want to throw my support behind Ryan.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, appreciate it. I did want to throw my support behind Ryan. He did invite me here, and again, I just want to give him my full support, and everybody else here I know is with him as well. I don't have a glass with me, well here's one right here. If we can raise our glasses and toast Mr. Ryan Graham for public service selection. Salute Ryan.
Ryan?
Speech. Nathan's going to get some words too.
Yeah, they asked me to say a few words, not too many, not too few, so. But I am the executive director of the Libertarian Party in Georgia. My job is to fundraise. My job is to get people excited. My job is to outreach to other groups and other organizations. And the big thing moving forward in 2018, we have Ryan, we have Damon. We've had over 30 people contact us since Gary Johnson announced just for the state party to run for office. So my job is to make sure all of them are real libertarians. All of them are serious about running and aren't going to do something ridiculous on the stage. And more importantly, to really uphold the values of what we're actually trying to accomplish. One of the things I've done for the last 5 years has been involved with several different liberty organizations. And just in the state of Georgia, if you want to be conscientious about saving money and helping the environment and putting solar panels on the house, first you got to ask for a building inspector, which goes to the insurance commissioner of the state of Georgia. Then you have to get that installed. So you have to get a approved business within the state of Georgia to do it. That's the Secretary of State's office. And then if you want to sell that to the grid, you have to ask the Public Service Commissioner what those rates are, which you sell them back. And then you have to see what the Georgia legislature says on how much you can actually sell back to the state of Georgia, to the power grid. That is way too much permission to be asking in order to save the environment and save money at your own damn house. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of asking permission to live, to protect, to just have a family and have a life. And I am sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the two-party system. They're constantly beating each other up. This 6th congressional district had more money raised than any other congressional race. And what was that for? For numbers. It wasn't for representing the people of that district. It was because they didn't like the president. And that was it. And the person who won barely won their own primary. They had 14% of the vote. That doesn't represent the people. That's ridiculous. This is why we need more people on the ballot. This is why we need more choices on the ballot. We will be challenging for our local races. Thankfully, our statewide races are wide open. And I'm glad as hell to have Ryan, who's committed to running for this seat and actually fighting for this seat. And to be honest, we both agree that his job shouldn't exist if he wins. I mean, there's no reason why we should be setting rates and all this other stuff. Why can't you and I negotiate those things? But I am just proud as hell to have such a competent and well-spoken and dedicated individual running for office for us.
Wow. Hard to follow up both of those guys, huh? So, round of applause for Nathan and David. I want to thank everyone here for taking the time out of their night. I know there's a lot going on tonight. There's the Falcons game and the fight later on, but you guys chose to be here with me tonight, and definitely appreciate that. So give yourselves a round of applause as well. I'm Ryan Graham, running for Public Service Commission. And it's funny because most people that I talk to, when I tell them that I'm running for Public Service Commission, the first thing out of their mouth is, "What's that? Great, good for you. What do they do?" You know? And I think that's really sad. Quite frankly, it's a sad state because what they do is they regulate state-mandated monopolies on energy. They set prices on energy, and they affect your wallet every single week. And quite frankly, that's, like Nathan was saying, the position shouldn't exist. People shouldn't set rates for you. You should be able to negotiate that. So the first plank of my platform is deregulation. I want to make sure that energy is deregulated just like gas was in 1999. When I move into a new home and I need to hook up my gas, I go on to Clark Howard's website, honestly, and I check the rates. I say, okay, who's available in my area and who gives me the best rate? And there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do that with electricity. And what that gains you is the ability to prioritize your own wants and needs. So if I'm a proponent of green energy, I can go with the company who's providing me energy in the way that I feel comfortable with. Instead of saying these 5 guys who represent 10.5 million Georgians, they've set this the energy production at whatever rates, then I shouldn't have to do what they say. I should be able to make a decision on my own. And if I'm a poorer family and I just need the cheapest available, that'll also exist, and that should exist for people. The other thing that state-mandated monopolies do is they allow for cronyism. You hear Libertarians rail against cronyism left and right because it gives capitalism a bad name. But when you give all this power to 5 people, you're asking them to take money for favors. I mean, you're just asking for it. So you have examples like this year where the PSC and their staff were taken out to dinner at a convention, an energy convention, and the bill was almost $8,000. You have an issue where, it was a couple of years ago, one of the public service commissioners wanted his granddaughter to sing at a Braves game, and the lobbyists made that happen. Lobbyists went and got the Braves to do that and went ahead and threw in some extra tickets for the game to make sure that commissioner could see his granddaughter too, like he couldn't afford it. And then you also have some blatant issues where there was one lobbyist who was actually the campaign treasurer on 2 of the Public Service Commissioner's latest campaigns. And that same person is actually a partner at a law firm with 2 past chairmen of the Georgia State Ethics Commission. So it's like, they're all just a bunch of good old boys, right? We got to get rid of these guys, because you got to get rid of this good old boy network. Deregulation, get rid of the cronyism, and while all that exists, you have to have somebody speaking for the people. You have to be empowering the people and make sure that these companies who have been given the right to monopolize their corporate interests, you have to make sure that somebody's there to right that ship and somebody who's there to speak for the people. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to speak for the people. I want to make sure that they know that they have an advocate for them on the commission, and that I'm not just there to give Georgia Power whatever they want. I'm not there to rubber stamp Georgia Power's wants and needs. Because what ends up happening is things like Plant Vogtle, which I don't know how much you guys know about it, but Plant Vogtle is a nuclear reactor on the border of South Carolina that is, quite frankly, a boondoggle. The company who was contracted out to build it has gone bankrupt. After taking the project, they're not even halfway done. They're $3 billion with a B over budget, and they are saying that there will be an additional $25 billion to finish the project. And what they're doing is they're asking the federal government for loans, the Department of Energy, and then they're also putting a surcharge on each and every one of your energy bills. If you go and you look at your bill, it'll say nuclear surcharge on it, and you're paying for it up front, whether you like it or not, whether you're for nuclear or not, whether you believe in the project. And if it was a free market, you'd be able to say, screw your surcharge, I'm going to go with the next guy. Or, I really believe in nuclear, so I'm willing to pay that surcharge. I want to invest in this. And that company would go out and find investors who are willing to take on the risk of a nuclear facility. And that just, none of that happens in a government-mandated monopoly. It happens in a free market. So we have to have free markets. We need to deregulate energy. And that's my platform. So again, I'm really happy that you guys came out to see me tonight. Feel free to fill up on wings and chips. In the back, we have a sign-up sheet for volunteer work if you want to put in your name and email address and like what you'd like to be able to do. Anyone who signs up can take a bumper sticker with you, and anyone who donates, please donate, can also take a bumper sticker. Tim has a donation accepting equipment, so find Tim and he will help you with that, and that's it. Thank you guys so much.